And welcome back, Dr. Zeh. Please help us continue our learning journey of Feuerstein tools and its applications, please.
All right, we're going to get right to it. Got your pencils ready? Okay. Just take and put your fingers on either side of your temple and massage it. Okay, yeah. Get that brain ready because you're going to have to use it. Okay, all right, good. You're ready. 20? I have 20 minutes. This presentation I was going to give is recorded already on Zoom. It will be made available to all of you, the whole presentation. So what I want to do is introduce the 14 people who Lalitha trained last week. Lalitha, you stand too. Where are you all? I know I've got some gentlemen over here who were trained in Standard 1. Here they are, these guys over here. We got any of the women here? Yep, a few of you. Okay. There we go. Thank you. So yeah, you may be seated. Thank you for taking that training. So they are officially trained in what used to be called Standard 1. Now it's called Cognitive Enrichment. And there are 14 of these tools. I'm going to introduce you to 2 of them. So you have page 1. So look at your page 1. And what is my first question? What do you see? Very good mediation. So one of our goals is for our students to learn to self-mediate. What do I see? I've got to slow down and collect information. So I look at this page. All right. So turn to your neighbor and discuss everything you see on the page. Go. And I'll give you a countdown. Do we have extra packets? No. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So hopefully you picked up there are a lot of dots on this page. Some are bigger than others. Some of the dots are a different color. Very good. And up in the top left-hand corner, we have a frame that is different from some of the other frames. And I would mediate by asking, what do you think we're supposed to do? What does that frame tell you? What could we call that frame? Until you finally would tell me, oh, we could call it the model frame. I would then ask you for the definition of what you see in that frame. What do you see? You see 2 particular what? Shapes. One is a square. But what kind of triangle? Is it equilateral, scalene, or isosceles? Ooh, I hear mixed reviews. I heard equilateral and isosceles, yeah. If you look at the bottom line, the way that triangle is sitting, you'll notice that the bottom line is quite a bit longer than the 2 sides, what I call the legs. And the 2 legs, the shorter sides, come up into what kind of an angle? A right angle. So this triangle is officially a right isosceles triangle. The square, as you know, is a shape with 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. In this program, a right angle becomes your friend and a tool, not just something you learn for a test on Friday that a right angle has 90 degrees. So you take your pencil, this is speed mediation, and I want you to connect the dots in the model frame. I want you to make your lines as straight as possible. Start on a dot and end on a dot. And if possible, keep going. Don't lift your pencil. So you start on a dot and you go all the way around the square. That takes a little more perseverance and visual motor skill than just boom, boom, just making 4 separate lines. Then make your triangle. Try to go all the way around the triangle. Feel the length of the lines. So get into your head that you can visualize the length of the long line opposite the right angle has a label. It starts with the letter H. Hypotenuse, I heard it out there. The hypotenuse is the long line opposite the right angle. Now go to frame 1, and here's where we have those big orange dots. And if I was mediating you, I'd ask why. Why are they bigger? Why are they orange? Well, maybe Reuben wanted to show us where the square was. But how is this frame different from the first frame? And you would say, oh, well, they're mixed up. Overlapped? Yeah, they're overlapped. And are they sitting in the same way? No, they've rotated. With rotation and overlap, you now have cognitive challenge. So you've got a relevant cue there, orange, big dots. Draw your lines as straight as possible. And your goal would be to not turn the page while you work, nor erase. And I know God invented erasers, and they're wonderful. But our goal here is to see if we can develop precision and accuracy so that you can draw the shapes correctly the first time and not have to erase. When you move to the next frame, you notice we don't have any relevant cues anymore. Now you've got to see where the square is in relationship to the triangle. So you're going to look for 4 dots that make a square, and then find the 3 dots that make the right isosceles triangle, even though it overlaps and rotates. Only the triangle rotates in this frame. Keep working. You can start, if you do that last one, Reuben gives the cues back. He gives the orange dots back. It's a verse in the Bible says, the Lord taketh, and the Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away. Reuben gives you cues, and then he takes them away, just to give you a challenge. If you go down to the second row, if you're still working, no cues, but we also don't have any overlap. All we have is rotation. So every frame has its own unique challenge presented. Second row, second frame, back to big dots, no color, but the dots are really big, but it's totally overlapped. Second row, third frame is the most challenging. If I graded all of your papers, my estimate is that 2/3 of you will find the wrong square. Did you hear me? 2/3 of you will mark the wrong square because you're impulsive, you're really smart, and you think you saw it. The square is not at the top of that frame. The square is at the bottom of that frame. I will not ask for confessions. Who drew the wrong square? I got a couple. Good for you. I love your honesty. Very, very easy. He made the line close, but you can see the 4 lines are not equal. You think they are, but they aren't. You just have to look the second time. Just a moment. Let me collect precise and accurate data. Are my 4 sides equally length? And if they're not, I don't have a square. I've got to erase. So where is the square? Oh, it's towards the bottom of the frame, and the triangle's up at the top in that frame. The last 2 frames, then he gifts you back color cues. So you have the relevant cues of the orange dots. Now we have a new model frame. So what happens with the number of dots? More or less than what we've been doing? More. We have 2 triangles. If you look through the rest of the page, you will notice that the squares are, the squares are cued. The squares have big orange dots or small orange dots, except for 2 frames at the very bottom where it's all black and one is all orange. So on your own, you're going to work the rest of that page, but let me be really, really clear. I have brilliant people with PhDs, doctors, principals, superintendents of schools who can't find the triangles. They see 3 dots connected there, got it, move on. Yep, 3 dots, yep, got a triangle, move on. And it's not the triangle that's in the model frame. So your goal is to find 2 triangles in every frame that are congruent to the model. Congruent meaning the same size, the same shape. Any 3 dots makes a triangle. You're hunting the right isosceles triangle, and there's 2 of them in every frame. And I have brilliant people, because this is not an IQ exercise, okay? This could measure your ability to become an engineer, because that's what it was created for. Andre Ray made your page that you're holding in your hands. He was a psychologist that created this as an assessment tool to decide if someone should go into engineering, because you have to manipulate shapes in your head. What Reuven saw is an opportunity to teach anyone to be a better thinker. And this program has 18 pages of every page. If you look up on the screen, can you put up the slide again? That's page 11, but it's much later. It's actually like page 16. You see 2 fish and a boat, but look at all those dots. The first time that I did page 11, I probably spent 45 minutes to an hour, because my visual motor perception wasn't really good before Reuven. After 25 years of doing these pages, these are like therapy for me to sit and just connect the dots. Because I used to get frustrated, I couldn't find it, where is it at? And that's what happens with adults who are used to just finding quick answers and moving on. So I immediately can gauge how impulsive you are with how many mistakes you make and how much you erase. That's not an IQ issue. You can be extremely high IQ and still be very impulsive. And those are people who tend to become entrepreneurs because they're looking for the next best thing. They start another business, they start another business. They make money, they lose money. They make money, they lose money. But they'll try again, try something new. So they're often very creative, and they make great entrepreneurs. But some of them still tell me, but I wish once in a while I could focus just a little bit more. So you have quite the homework page to do. Gentlemen that you spoke to me, you want to announce anything about taking the training? What did you think of, what did it do to your brain for the week? Really loud. Come on. Stand up and yell it. Come on. Yeah. Yes, beautiful. Helped you look at things differently than you normally would look at. Yeah, it was very transformational for me because I wasn't good at this. This was so challenging for me. And as you work through the program, if it is a challenge for you, then you absolutely should do the program. Adults tend to think if it's hard for me, I don't want to do it because I can't do it, so I don't want to do it. In reality, you're missing the opportunity to grow dendrites because dendrites only grow with challenge and novelty. You have to be well fed and sleep and water and all of that. But beyond that, dendrites grow at any age if the brain is presented with challenge and novelty. We got 18 pages of challenge and novelty for you. We just ran a group of engineering students at Purdue University in Fort Wayne through the program because they were a little afraid of the program, thought they might struggle in it. And so we said, we'll teach you some thinking skills. So they only did 8 sessions, about 2 hours every Friday afternoon. They did the DOTS program, learned the cognitive functions, and learned some great strategies for being a better college student. So I hope you'll enjoy finishing your page on your own. Let's look at the other page, and then I think we're wrapping up, right? Or am I done now? If I got to be done, where's my timer? 7 minutes. Okay, good. Page 4 changed my life. The program changed my life. Orientation in space. You can see it written along the side of the program, all right? So you see at the top of the page a little yard, a house, a tree, flowers, and you see the bench, okay? I don't have this one. There it is. This is a different version of it, but close. Okay. Yeah, this is a version of it. This is a different page than you have. You have to imagine the boy in his position A, B, C, or D. Visually transport him over to the yard. Your page says, well, let's look at number 1. If the house is to the front of the person, what position is the boy in? Yeah, he's in A, right? Yeah, on your page. Don't look at the screen, your page. My screen, if the boy's position B, then the house would be to his left. So you're visualizing, and if I see someone doing a lot of this while they work the page, I look for that because it tells me they're having to put themselves in the yard. They can't project. It's called projecting virtual relationships. If I can visualize the boy in the yard and now the house is to his front or the left or the back, then I'm projecting the relationship. I don't have to put myself in. I had to put myself in the first year. But doing these pages several times, probably the first 5 years that I was in Feuerstein, I helped internalize my left from my right. If you have to put cues on the back of kids' hands to show them which is their left and their right, all we're doing is continuing to externalize directionality. You want it internalized. I can now look at someone across the room, turned in a different orientation, and I can go, I know that's her left and that's her right hand. I used to not be able to do that. And there's a few of you out there that are my brothers and sisters who know that spatial orientation is difficult for you. You give someone directions and you tell them, yeah, you're going to go down to the corner and you're going to turn left. And you later find out, oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. Why did I say left? But I meant right. So I may not be alone. There's probably several of you in the room. Those of you who are really good at this and you already, for some reason, you have it internalized, your left from your right, and it's inside you. You don't have to look at any cues. You got it, like my husband. Okay. Please have sympathy for us. We're directionally challenged, and we need you to understand that. And while Rick did a lot of years of laughing at me, you know, honey, when you come out of the hospital room when we go visit someone, he goes, whatever direction you were going to turn, just turn the other way, because you're always wrong. And so now I'm right 80 to 90% of the time, because I think about it and I have it a little more internalized, and I don't get lost as often when I'm in strange places, in strange cities and new countries. I tend to pay attention to my surroundings and what way will I need to turn, and I can do it better. So if you're 10 years old and you do not have your left and your right internalized, this program can help take care of that. So it's not a big program, it's only 12 pages. And for those of you that don't have this issue, you probably won't understand, why would I need to do that? Well, just remember to have sympathy for those kids that don't have it internalized. It's very, very powerful to be able to know my left from my right, and it helps with reading because you have to have directionality for reading. I've got this whole presentation with all these other programs. Here's illustrations. Temporal relations is the difference between time, distance, and speed. Program called instructions, a program called family relations that is about deductive and inductive reasoning. Numerical progressions is another program that could set kids up for higher math, help them do calculus. Syllogisms, set logic, which was brilliantly executed by Reuven. I went, whoa, this is how you do this? I used to think, oh, I can't do that. I won't be able to do that. And then you work through his program. Every page, the first page of every one of his programs starts out ridiculously simple, so everybody can do it. And then the third or fourth page, it starts, the challenge starts picking up, and now but you've built it. You've built your strategies. A program called Transitive Relations helps with also higher level math. If A is greater than B and B equals C, but A doesn't equal C, what is the relationship of A to C? Yeah. You think A is greater than C? Yeah, I think you're right. A doesn't equal C, but B equals C. Orientation in Space 2 introduces our students to the compass rose, north, south, east, west, and then eventually it integrates left, right, front, and back. So you integrate both of them. It's a very, very detailed program, not easy at all. Representational stencil design is the last one, and it's a matter of layering stencils that you have to do it all visually. You're not allowed to cut them out and layer them. You have to do it in your mind. And if you think about visualization or abstract thought, that's the goal of education. What good is it to teach children that if they can count 10 teddy bears, if they have to carry the teddy bears in their pocket the rest of their life to understand the concept of 10? You want everything to move to a higher level of mental representation or abstract thought, and you can hold much more information that way and work with it if it's in your head instead of concrete. And that's one of the things about special ed that Feuerstein dramatically changed my mind, is that he helped me see that concrete thinking is not where we need to leave our kids in special ed. We always think, well, he won't be able to handle, so we better give him teddy bears. We better give him real things to hold and count. That's okay to start with, but you can move him to an abstract level if you give him a chance. Don't assume anything. Don't assume he can't when you've not even tried. Over and over, my first guesses were proven wrong, because in my head I'm thinking, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, and sure enough, he does, because the Feuerstein program provides page-by-page strategy building so that they can think abstractly. So I've talked about, here's all those programs again. I didn't tell you about CogLink. That's a new one, tying the Feuerstein program to standardized test. And we also have a version for STEM thinking. Rafi has created smart tests. This is an online digital, especially for high school, middle school and high school, where you, the teacher, create the test, and then AI is going to give you do the analysis and create the distracting questions. You give the test the correct answer, and it will be analyzed for what cognitive function was the child not using well, that he made that error. So the test will be designed so you can analyze for cognitive functions. It's very brilliant. It's just coming online. It's going to maybe be available in this next year. So I'm kind of excited about that one. It's a big wow. Okay, thank you from the Feuerstein Institute. It has been a glorious day.